Pattern Eclipse is a feature that can be found in the Gold membership. JUKI now has these available, and for more information on how to get one of these, just contact a JUKI dealer. So what is Pattern Eclipse? It's actually a feature that will allow you to take a motif, an embroidery design, an applique, and stitch around it. You're going to create a pantograph, but you don't want it to stitch through your embroidery. And this is how you're going to be able to clip that area out so that you can stitch around those designs. And by the way, the wall hanging that I'm using today, those embroidery designs, are from a company called Purely Gates, and it happens to be the Mylar seashells. And you can actually find their information on the web. So the first thing that you do is you have to create a pantograph. So we're going to switch now and show you how to create your pantograph, and then we're going to come back and show you how to crop this out around the areas. The first thing you have to do is to set up your pantograph. So go ahead and set up your pantograph using the Power Panto mode that's in version 5. And if you need more information on how to do that, check out our website, www.jukiquilting.com. We actually have a video link there, and we have a PDF document that you can download to show you how to set up your Power Panto mode. Once you have your pantograph all set up, the next thing you're going to do is place your pattern for sewing. I'm actually using the center placement, so I'm moving my machine up to the center of where my quilting is going to start, and I am touching the placement box on the screen. So it's now setting my pattern, and it's ready for me to go into the Pattern Eclipse. So the next thing I want to do is locate the Pattern Eclipse feature. At the top of the screen in Plugins, you'll see Pattern Eclipse pop up. So I'm going to touch Pattern Eclipse. And now I'm in the screen and I can actually start marking my area. So what I'm going to do is take my machine and move it over to the area that I want to cut out so that it's not stitching around. And then I'm going to touch the plus. I've placed my machine at the beginning of where I want to start placing my marks so that I can cut out around my embroidery. So I have my machine set there, and I'm going to touch Add on the screen. And I'm going to move my machine to the next position and touch Add. I'm going to move it to the next position and touch Add. And I'm going to keep doing this until I have gone completely around the entire design. You'll notice on your screen, each time you touch the Add for adding a stitch, you will have a line starting to form on your screen. So I'm going to go completely around this design, and then we're going to come back and I'll show you what it looks like on the screen. So now you can see the area that I just created where my embroidery design is. So we've got some options here on the screen. If you touch Preview, it will show you what it's going to look like when it is stitched out. You'll see the stitches have disappeared in there, and it shows you what the stitching is going to look like. So we're going to close that window. You'll notice there's two options here. There's Sew Continuous and Sew Eclipse Border. The one we just looked at was Sew Continuous. So I'm going to touch Sew Eclipse Border, touch Preview. And now it's going to show you what it would look like if it had stitched a border around the area. So there's actually like a straight line of stitching around there. It's a continuous line, stitching a border in that area. It's up to you which one of those you prefer. So I'm going to close that window. Now if I were creating this and I hit add and I didn't want that line there, all I have to do is touch remove and it will remove that line. You can continue to touch remove and it will continue removing lines until you get back to where you want it to be. Now if I wanted to delete this entirely, I would touch the octagon down here with the X on it and it would delete the area and I could start over. If I had more than one, which my pattern has 3, if I had them on here and I touched this one, it will delete all. But I actually have 2 more areas that I need to set. So to do that, I'm going to touch New Region. And I'm now going to move my machine to the next area and create this. And then I'm going to move it to the 3rd area and create this. So now you can see that I have all 3 of my areas traced around where I want to have the stitches taken away from, and I'm going to sew with a sew continuous, and I'm going to touch preview so that I can see what this is going to look like when it's stitched out. Now that I have 3 designs, it takes just a little bit of time for the software to calculate this. And it's going to bring up my preview window that shows those are the areas that I'm actually going to be clipping out. If this is satisfactory in the way you want to have it stitched, close this window. We're going to tap OK. It's going to take it into the quilting interface screen and we'll be ready to start sewing. Okay, I'm in the quilting interface screen. My machine has, I placed my pattern in the center and I'm now ready to start, so I can just touch sew and zone 1 will start stitching. As you can see, the machine is stitching around my embroidery area. I'm going to let my machine sew and then we will come back and see what this looks like when it's all finished. I have now completed the pantograph, and as you can see, all of the stitching is on the outside of the embroidery. There's no stitching inside the embroidery. I used a wool batting for this so that I would have that puffed up look, and my wall hanging is now complete. I hope you enjoy using the pattern eClipse feature as much as I do, and be sure to check out our downloadable PDF instructions on how to complete this.